Hello and welcome to the Average FPLers podcast, FPL4. My name's Russell, and as always, I'm joined by Mike. How are we doing?
Hoi hoi.
Ahoy. So we've got a couple of weeks to review, see how we got on, and then we'll be giving our FPL4 choices for game week 32. So let's have a look at game week 30 to start off with. uh, this wasn't a bad week. Double figures for all of us. Gaz got 17, Mike, you got 13, and I got 14. Not much of a gain there, but
Um, that was all right.
yeah. Obviously, I got Son 10 points. Gaz got Diaz, who got 10, and Tony with 5. Yeah, and yours was more spread, but Bradley got you 4 points, and Pereira got you 5. Can't remember who they played in game week 30, but
Um, I don't know. I don't even
being
know who Liverpool played. That's bad, isn't it?
uh,
That's good
Liverpool
memory for you.
played Brian, and Bradley got an assist, I think.
I
Yeah.
don't think he started though, right?
Oh, I
That's why
don't
he only
know
got
that.
4. I think he come on
Maybe.
because it's 3 points for an assist, or maybe he went off before 60. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
don't know.
I'll take that. 4 points is enough. Um, as regards to Fulham, they were playing Sheffield United and they were getting absolutely hammered at one point, and I was like,
Oh yeah, it was
I'm
that
not
game,
getting
wasn't
anything out of this.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the resurgence started, and I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I'm going to get something." And even though they scored 3 times, all I got was one assist from Andreas, which I'll take in the end.
Mm.
Um, it wasn't exactly run home and sing to your family about, but there was no goal and assist for any player in that match. It was all a different player for the goals, different player for the assists.
Yeah.
Um, and it was Sheffield United who took all of the major bonus points as well, because that's how bad Fulham were. If I'd gone Berriton Diaz,
That
I
would
would
have
have
been
actually
good.
outscored my whole team with one player, and I would have outscored both of you as well with one player because he got 2 goals and an assist and 3 bonus. So I think that's 17. So it would have matched Gaz.
I mean, for some reason, we thought Jackson against Burnley would be good, but he got us 2 points.
Well, it should have been good. It was at home to Burnley.
Yeah.
Burnley couldn't play Fafana, who's their talismanic striker right now,
Mm-hmm.
and
It was 2-all.
they were yeah, they were terrible. It was 2-2 against a 10-man Burnley.
Oh yeah, and oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
They had a player
Yeah.
sent off relatively early.
Yeah.
And Chelsea should have absolutely swept that game aside with no problems whatsoever, and they made that very very difficult. And even then, it didn't. They felt like they were holding on as opposed to actually dominating the game. It's
Yeah.
just good that we had Palmer, I guess, because he got both the goals, but it
Yeah.
wasn't exactly. There was no other player worth sort of mentioning in that game for the Chelsea side. That's for sure.
No.
Uh, yeah, so I'll take it. It's unlucky for some 13, but I'll live with it.
Yeah. Well, it must have been if we look at 31. Oh, yeah, it's a bad week.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
Gaz did alright. He got 18, but you got 4, and I got 7.
Hell
So
yes.
yeah, no one really returned for me, but all my players played, and Salah got me 1 point. So
Look,
um,
listen, two of my players didn't play at all.
yeah,
Fulham were abject, and I needed Kelleher to basically get me a save point.
yeah. Which yeah, I'm guessing he
So
did because he got 3. So
he did, yeah. He faced a lot of shots after the goal. Sheffield United grew in stature in the game, which was amazing to be honest. Because in the first half there was a 10-minute period,
mhm.
maybe 20-minute period, where Liverpool had 91% possession and Sheffield United were chasing shadows. They
Mm,
were nowhere near the ball. They were nowhere near the first ball. They were nowhere near the second ball. And it was like, yeah, these are going to get run into the ground at this rate.
mm,
And so I really thought the second half would pick up and carry on at that sort of pace. And yeah, then they got an own goal with a freak Bradley. knocking into his own neck when from a header down, and then Liverpool just really didn't get out of second gear. It's lucky they won, but they really didn't get out of second gear whatsoever. I'm just glad Keller got 3, because if he hadn't, I would have only got 3 points total. I'll take 4.
Yeah. I was really hoping he was going to get sent off because you were only on 1 point going into that game. And I thought, oh, this could be good. Could be a negative score. Be funny. But and it would have
I
dented
mean,
Gaz's score as well. So
yeah, that would not have been fun if it was a Keller own goal.
yeah.
I'll take the Bradley own goal instead. But
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunate, I guess. I didn't know Gaz had picked anyway until he put it up late on, and I
Yeah.
realised we both had Keller, and I was like, oh no. But
Yeah. But yeah, I
yeah,
Nori and Havertz for him getting returns. So
I know we're playing on the wing, right? Having a great old time.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm regretting not bringing him in a few weeks ago. So every time I see him
Yeah.
now, and he always seems to be smashing it, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake. I mean, he could have had more points over the last few weeks. He's had some chances to score some goals. And it's like, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, the against was it Liverpool? I think it feels like it was against whoever they played in 30. He
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, that was it. The ball come in and he was inside, like he was about 12 yards out, and I think it was like a volley, and he had so much time. He could have taken a touch to bring it down, and then on the half volley, and both, he just blasted it straight up Martinez. Luckily, Martinez had quick reflexes to knock it over, but still, he was like, wow, he should have definitely scored there.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't though, because it meant Moreno got a clean sheet. But
Oh
I think
yeah.
he put a lot of people off buying him,
Mm.
because they were like, oh god, he's missed it from that close range. And then Gary O'Neill said he had fatigue. And you're like, oh good god, no, I ain't picking him.
Yeah. But
So Gaz said no to that. I'm having him,
yeah, and it paid off.
and it paid off.
So
The jammy bastard.
uh, right, well, let's see how that's affected the scores anyway. I mean, I could have done better to catch you with your 4 points, but I didn't. But
Gaz is clawing
yeah,
away at those deficits.
yeah. So you're on 548, I'm on 529, and Gaz is on 495. So I mean, he's Gaz is not that far behind. So
No, it's
it's
a couple more game weeks.
yeah.
It's 3 double game weeks still left to go.
Oh yeah,
Anything's possible.
that is true. So right, let's get into it. See what we've picked for 32 goalkeepers,
We
and
won't know with Gaz,
we
right?
won't know Gaz's because he's not sent them yet. So
He's
we'll find that out
going to
later.
send them at Saturday at 12:29 p.m.
Yeah,
So he's
probably.
got a minute before kickoff.
Yeah. For our picks, you've gone for Leno, and I've gone for Pickford. Everton playing. For some reason, I've put a
Well,
note down that Pickford is playing Everton,
we're off.
but that's not
We're off
possible.
to a strong start. They're at home to Burnley.
Burnley, that's the one I meant for Burnley. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm glad to see you. You were like, yeah, he's playing his own team.
I mean, that'd probably help, I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, home to Burnley. I mean, they haven't won in like 11 games or something, but
Everton. They haven't. No.
that's a big one. And yeah, I feel like maybe there's a clean sheet in there. Plus,
They,
the
they
hub
picked up a draw
recommended you
against
bring
Newcastle.
Pickford in, so I was like, ooh,
Pickford and Branthwaite, if I wild card.
yeah,
So it thinks that the clean sheet is on.
yeah.
I uh, I
I don't know
I'm
though.
I'm failing to
Burnley
see
have
it.
looked. Burnley have been doing quite well the last few weeks. Been a bit unlucky
Burnley are
with
great in attack.
decisions, but
They're just not very good at defending, and they keep getting
mm,
players sent off.
yeah,
It's very hard to maintain your Premier League survival if you keep getting players sent off before the 55-minute mark.
I could see that being a bit of a tight game though. So,
KG, possibly. Bearing in mind that it'll be the third game in like 8-9 days for a lot of these teams.
yeah,
So it's going to stretch a lot of squads as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton, you could say, got a morale boosting draw though against Newcastle.
Yep.
I don't know who Burnley played. I don't think they got a result of the week, midweek, did they? I think they got beat.
They drew again.
Oh, they drew Wolves. There you
Wolves,
go.
yeah.
See, so they're picking up points.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So
Maybe it'll be a KG 1-1.
yeah,
Not good for you, but
not good for me. No. Yeah, but well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, Leno, that seems like a bit of a dodgy one. Fulham are a bit up and down.
It's but my thesis is Fulham was so bloody awful against
Mm,
Nottingham Forest that it can only be room for significant improvement. And
true.
they're at home to Newcastle, which is not great. But Newcastle are now missing a significant number of more players.
Yeah.
They lost Almiron midweek to almost the rest of the season. His injury, and Kieran Trippier's got a calf injury that's going to keep him out until, I think they said, the end of April. So that's most of the season. They've lost Pope
Harvey
until
Barnes is back though, and
Harvey Barnes is back
he's
and
got
firing.
yeah, he's on a bit of a hot streak. So.
But obviously, Fulham was so bad, we might start to see the absolute behemoth that is Tim Ream.
Oh yeah, that
You
should
know,
shore
so
up that defense.
that should shore it right up, and that's that's where my hope lies. And Leno's always quite good at home for points.
True. Yeah.
I'm saying this without any stats in front of me or anything to back it up. I'm just winging it. So I could be entirely
Yeah.
wrong, and he might be more of an away keeper. But if after a bad game, Fulham tend to do a lot better in the subsequent following game,
Yeah.
and then Leno gets a good return. Not necessarily always a clean sheet, but a fair few save points.
I know. Well, I
And
know.
at this
I think we
point,
said it. William's always better at home. Doesn't do very well away.
yes, he doesn't necessarily always start when they play away from home.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's like, I'll play in London, anywhere
But
outside of
nowhere
London.
else. Yeah.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Give me 10 minutes, and I'll
Yeah. Weird one.
that'll do. The foibles with management and tactics. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I just figured it. I think it's also played on my mind. He's probably likely to actually play after having two players not play the follow last week. So
yeah.
even if I only get two, that's still halfway to my total of game week 31.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not aiming high with the gamble for this one.
Yeah, I didn't have many goalies on my pool. I was literally Pickford, and that was it.
There you go. And he said he was playing against Everton.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, I like those odds. Go on, the old pickers.
yeah, just looking now. Yeah, I don't know. None are really standing out to me. So yeah, so I'm happy.
Maybe Ortega for Man City. That's if Edison
Yeah.
is out.
Yeah.
But even then, probably won't go the way you want it to. I mean, Ryan might have been a shout, but Brighton are quite good at getting goals. They're just not very, very good at times at defending. So there was no one that there was no significant jump out. Essentially, I mean, I could have gone for Bournemouth's keeper Neto, but I did that 2 weeks ago and it didn't go great.
Yeah.
And as we've gone over Chelsea quite a bit recently, I mean, it could be any Chelsea. It could be a Chelsea that wins 8-0. It could be a Chelsea that loses 3-1. You just don't know.
Yeah, I tried Petrovic a couple of weeks ago and that didn't work out. So I was like, nah.
Well, I mean, he's still a relatively inexperienced keeper, so you have to give him some leeway. But at the same time, he's still going up in price, even though he's not scoring many points, which is fascinating because people keep going, oh, well, he's not getting anything, but this time he definitely will. So let's get him in.
Yeah.
And you go, lads, I think it has to work on more than just hopes and dreams. Otherwise, we're all just working on the assumption of maybe, you know,
Well, maybe
and we're
push
all
Sheffield
gravitating to
United
the
this
same way.
week, but then we've just pointed out that 2 weeks ago they drew 2-2 with 10-man Burnley. So
There you go, yeah. And they were at home.
yeah, so
They weren't away. They were at home and they were cruising
mhm.
until Burnley had someone sent off, and then they went, right, clap clap. We're going to struggle now, lads.
Yeah, weird.
I don't know. So you know,
But
you
you
just
think
don't
back
know
to
what
that
Chelsea play.
Tottenham game when Tottenham were like down to like 8 men or whatever it was, and Chelsea,
Yeah,
Tottenham were a better team in that as well.
Tottenham were the better team when we had 10, and then Tottenham were the better team when we had um when we had like, well, we were the better team when we had 11, and then we were still considerably the better team with 10.
Yeah,
And then honestly, it got down to 9,
and even
and
with
there were still chances when Eric Dyer nearly scoring. So
yeah,
you know, it's
even
like
with 9, you
it's
nearly snatched it. So
nearly equalised, and we could have equalised or won it. And it was like, oh, we might actually do this. You know,
yeah.
I don't know how, but we might.
Plus, you got a couple
And
of injuries because Van de Ven got injured in that game. I think
we
pulled his
lost Madison
hamstring.
and Van der Ven
Yeah,
all
and
in the
Madison.
first half. Eh?
Yeah,
So it wasn't great.
no.
That was the game that set our demise, really, and
Mm.
a mad first half.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
But
turning point in that game. But
yeah, and
yeah.
even for Chelsea, because no one really took Chelsea seriously after that.
No. Even though they won, it was like they
Even though
struggled
they
to
won
hit.
and it was like 3 or 4-1,
Yeah,
everyone was like, yeah, but not really. They were playing a team that had like nothing left
yeah,
and brought Eric Dyer on.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, we'll see, we'll see. Right, let's look at defenders. You've gone Adam Smith, and I've gone Nori. So yeah, as I alluded
He's
to when we looked at Gaz's Nori pick for last week, I'm every time I watch him, it's annoying me now because I didn't pick him in my team. So I thought, I'll put him in this week. I'm half
that's it. Let
considering
him haunt you.
bringing him into my team anyway. So yeah, and he looked really good the other night. Obviously, he got the
And
got the goal.
and if you look at his picture, does look like
He,
Mo Salah's slightly younger brother,
yeah, that is true.
which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if he's just morphing into him because he idolizes him because he didn't look like him last year.
No, maybe.
I think he had
Yeah.
longer hair last year or he had a shaven head, but he now just looks dead on.
Yeah.
So it's quite fun. And he's playing left wing. So he's like the reverse Salah. Salah's on
Ah,
the right.
yeah.
I know he's on the left. Let's have it. So yeah, no, they got a decent fixture. Wolves. No one
West
expects them to be
Ham.
where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's West Ham at home.
Yeah.
West Ham weren't exactly great against Tottenham,
Mm,
and they had that um, crippling defeat to Newcastle
mm, yeah.
3 days before Tottenham. So the Tottenham game felt like damage limitations because they went behind quite early.
They might have won. They got to play Europa League this this week, right? Or
I
next
mean,
week.
yeah,
Yeah. So they
yeah.
might have
So
one
it'll
eye
be
on
the
that.
week possibly. I mean, they got enough squad to rotate around though. They just
Mm,
made like Calvin Phillips was the one who was the scapegoat for the Newcastle game, but it wasn't necessarily all his fault.
no.
It's just his performance was personified because he only completed 2 passes when he came on. But
And he gave away
West
the
Ham just
penalty.
capitulated. He gave away the penalty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a man that's devastatingly short of any kind of confidence or anyone believing in him.
Yeah. And he's not having
Um,
much luck. I mean, it was a soft penalty as well. So
that well again, that's no luck, no confidence,
yeah.
no nothing. And yeah, so it was and then moving into the midweek performance, it weren't much better for either Tottenham or West Ham. No one really wanted to win it. We just kind of treaded water.
Mm,
So I think Wolves could absolutely catch them out, West Ham, and beat them. it feels like one of those games that if this was in 2 weeks' time, it would be considered a nothing game where it'd probably be 0-0 because
Mm,
both teams are on the beach, if you will, as they keep calling it now.
yeah.
Because I don't think Wolves are in any kind of relegation concerns,
No, I don't
especially if
think so.
Everton and Nottingham Forest lose more points.
Yeah.
And
West Ham are
West Ham,
fighting for a European
fine.
spot, though, aren't they? So,
They're fighting for it, but let's be honest, they're probably not going to get it. And what's going to happen is they're probably going to win the Europa League, and I'm going to have to go and jump through a window.
yeah,
So,
be funny.
because the worst thing about that is if they do, it
Yeah,
it
Champions
it
League
makes
spot, winning the Europa
they
League.
get a Champions League spot.
Yeah,
But not only that, because they've done quite well in Europe, that means that our Europa coefficient score goes up for the whole of England,
right.
which means that extra spot in the Champions League goes to fifth place as well, which means that Tottenham might finish fifth, which ergo West Ham help us qualify for Champions League. And you're like, oh no.
Hmm. Oh, and you'll forever be in their debt. That'd be nice.
They will not let us, they won't let us forget it. They'll just be like, oh yeah,
No.
we're the champions of Europe again.
Yeah, and we help Tottenham out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what I mean. It'd be interesting because you might see six Premier League teams in Champions
Yeah.
League, which would be interesting. But
Bloody hell.
yeah, it's not ideal.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's a catch-22 for I guess even for Man United fans and for Villa fans, because you go, oh yeah, we don't really like West Ham, but we need them to keep doing well, and Villa need to keep doing well, and everyone else that's still in the Europa competition that's English, you need to keep doing well to keep our coefficiency rating up, so we get one of those extra Champions League spots. So
Yeah.
come on, lads, we're rooting for you, you bastards.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, West Ham. I mean, West Ham haven't got they got a strong enough squad to rotate, but I don't think David Moyes will rotate many of them. I mean, Jarrett Bowen rarely gets rotated regardless. So,
Yeah.
but
Antonio could probably do the rest. He looked knackered at the end of the game the
I've
other
done.
night.
Yeah,
But
he did look absolutely drenched and
yeah.
just exhausted because he hasn't played many since being back. And
Yeah.
Areola's out, so there are some mounting injuries. Aguard's still out, so
Mm.
maybe it'll be a drab 0-0, or maybe you'll get 9 points from Aitnuri just creating chances and whatnot.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll take it. It'll be alright.
Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah. But yeah, Smith for you. Got him in your team.
Yeah.
I think he's on your bench, but away to Luton.
Yeah, well, this is mostly just self-interest rather than any kind of real statistical analysis.
Yeah.
Or he's had two good games.
Mm.
In FPL terms, he got the 9 points midweek, and he got the 6 because he got the assist, even though Bournemouth conceded.
Yeah.
So it's lucky. Oh wait, it's not lucky, but if he hadn't conceded, he would have got like 9-10 points that game as well because he was on for all three bonus.
Mm-hmm.
That was before he got the own goal assist as well. So
I did put him on my shortlist, but then crossed the name out because I thought,
yeah,
I've already got double Bournemouth defence in my actual team. I thought I'm not putting a Bournemouth defender in here as well. Not tripling up.
well, Luton until Wednesday against Arsenal, Luton had scored in every single game since November.
Yeah.
And the last time they'd blanked was against Manchester United. So that's quite a long run for a team that has got like the smallest budget in the league by a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
And no one expected to be this competitive, really.
Yeah.
But with the injuries they've got, and they keep picking up more injuries, and there's more niggles and more knocks, it just feels like maybe me not starting Adam Smith's going to be a massive regret, and they're going to keep another clean sheet, Bournemouth, keep this good form going. Even if it's only a 0-0 draw, you know, Bournemouth will still be one of the top point scorers in the league over the last like 7. And I'm going to be sitting there going, yeah, well, I started Adogi and all these players because they're more attacking and they've got bugger all. And there's Adam Smith sitting on the bench for 9 points. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So nothing for it. Stick in my FPL4 team. Plus, it's a good fixture really because Luton have got so many injuries, so there is some method.
Yeah, no, yeah, it does look good. I think Luton score, but But
Probably,
I'm
but you
still
know,
going
if
to be
Adam Smith
playing
gets an
Neto
assist,
and Zabani in my team, I think. So I'm hoping they don't, in a way. But then I would like to see Luton stay up, though. So I don't know. It's win-win either way. So it's all good. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
take it. As long as
exactly
they
right.
don't score and still lose, that would be annoying. They're going to score, they better win. That's what I'm going with.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ifs and buts and rules here, but yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. I'll
Right.
take it. It again, self-interest that one,
Yeah.
and probably I didn't think any use would pick him because who would?
I thought
I mean, no
about it,
one picked him
but
originally.
yeah.
Everyone picked Zabani originally when we were doing this a couple of weeks back for the double game week. So
Yeah. It was partly on my list because he got you 9 points last week, and I was annoyed. So
yeah,
yeah,
I was pleased.
yeah.
It was wonderful. Ex Tottenham as well.
There you go. Right, midfielders. Well, we've both gone Chelsea. I've gone for the obvious one, which is Palmer, and you've gone for
God, you're so obvious.
the outside one of Mudryk.
Yeah.
I mean, Palmer is what 20 points last week, 15 or so points a week before. So
Yeah, 35 over two
yeah,
game weeks. That's 17 points a week.
yeah,
So that means you're going to get more than what you got last week just on one player if that carries on.
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
In
I know.
fact,
I thought
you're
about
going
like
to.
Jackson, or I thought, is there another Chelsea player I could pick? And there's just no one else that I can really put
Well,
my
that's
hat on.
where you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could be wrong. Madrid could smash it, but
If he
probably
starts, that's
Jackson
my
will
only
smash it
concern.
this week, or someone. But yeah, don't know.
Jackson is in a strong position too. The problem with buying him is he's on 9 yellow cards still. So if he gets booked,
Yeah,
it's curtains for him for 2 games. And then that was a waste of a transfer.
mhm.
Unless you're wild carding the following week, you can and you wanted to gamble.
Yeah, but I
Um,
definitely wouldn't be bringing him into my team, Jackson. So
no, not until they're past the 32 game mark, and then he has to get another 6 more yellow cards before he gets a suspension, kind of thing. And there's not
yeah,
enough games. To get.
even then, no, no.
I might
Uh,
because obviously
it's because you're a
Chelsea have
maverick.
got a few doubles.
Yeah,
I am a Maverick.
yeah.
I'm a Maverick, and I'm also a lunatic.
Yeah, let's not
That's
rule it
why I've
out
got
though. If they've
Tyler
got
Mudryk.
doubles, I might end up with him in my team. So I'll be like, oh, double. Oh, who can I
Double in
bring in?
35, double in 37.
Yeah,
He's right there, Nicholas Jackson, because they got no one else that could play up front that's fit. Broyer's
mm,
gone.
yeah.
Broyer's gone to get first team football at Fulham, and he has been benched by Muniz. So
Yeah,
hurrah!
not, not good.
So yeah, but Mudryk against Manchester United was really lively. He was taking quite a lot of the set pieces. He looked good without the statistics probably saying he was that good, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So sometimes you can see, the eye test versus stats. It's grass versus analytics, as they call it.
Did he get anything in
And
that game?
he did not,
He did not.
but he
No.
could have, and he should have, because he was quite good. But he got an assist against Burnley, and the week before that, he got a goal against Newcastle.
Mm.
He only played 19 minutes against Newcastle. He
Mm.
started Burnley, and he started Man United. So that's 2 in a row he started, and so he's clearly been a bit more favoured.
Yeah.
His XG was only 0.14 and his XA was only 0.07 against Man United. That's not great.
Mm.
But he still looked really good. And something inside me said he looks good at the moment. Maybe he's worth a gamble. And I can tell you that I wholeheartedly believe in it because I bought him in on draft as well.
Mm.
No one wants him on draft. No one ever considers him. They go, Mudryk, no, you're right. And it's me going,
Weird.
Mudryk, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Would I consider it? I
and it
don't
just
know.
feels,
Probably not.
Sheffield United away, Sheffield United are so bad at home in terms of
Mm.
playing bigger teams. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's some kind of psychological thing now because they've lost quite heavily in a couple of games, or maybe they try to be more expansive, get caught, get back, go 2 down, and then by then it's game over, and then they just start leaking goals by then.
Mm.
But we just don't know what Chelsea we're going to get. I mean, if
No.
we get at Chelsea, all of us are going to be kicking ourselves for only having Palmer probably, and some of us, in my case, might not have captained him either. So I'm going to be like, "Ah, you idiot." But
Yeah. I mean, I still might
yes,
not, but he's got my armband at the moment. But
yeah,
I don't know.
it's
Salah's
just a
tempting.
really good. He's just a really good obvious pick this week.
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't put him in this Palmer because I was like, I went for two obvious ones last week, and they didn't even bloody come on.
No. Yeah.
I got burned as hard as someone could get burned. The heat was too much for my face and my hands, so
Yeah.
I'm staying out of the kitchen with the obvious picks for a little bit. Um, but yeah, I just that's the fixture that draws my attention. I thought someone else will probably go for Nicholas Jackson, so I'll go for Mudrick because no one is going. Do you know what, Mudrick, well in.
Yeah. I mean, Gaz is
So,
obviously going to pick a Chelsea player. You'd think, but I wonder who. Who's he going to go for?
um,
Probably something
Gusto
mad. Probably yeah,
possibly.
Gusto.
Gusto's great because he should have had an assist against Man United, but he got ruled. Uh, he got taken off right. The first goal Chelsea got.
Don't
Because
know.
people were celebrating furiously at first because it was a Gusto assist, and then FPL took it away, and then people were kicking and screaming. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
I don't trust Chelsea's defense, which is strange to say that out loud. That I'm actually trust Adam Smith more than I trust the Chelsea defender.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would as well.
That's the game week. That's the game week where you go. You know what? Bournemouth are a much better defensive opportunity than Chelsea. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
People are going, have you hit your head? And you're like, no, no, trust me, hear me out. And you try and sell it, and it's very hard to sell.
No, yeah, I get it. I agree. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, my picks, as you can see, are a bit. I don't know. It might be the sign of someone who's clearly going through something at the moment because they're not. There's no obvious ones there, and they're a bit ropey again. No Man City in here.
No,
You know,
well. Let's look out
didn't
forwards.
I didn't knee jerk Foden.
No, yeah, you could have done. He probably won't play this week, so um, yeah.
Get him out.
Yeah. I've gone for Man City, and I've gone for maybe an obvious pick, Haaland. So, um, but yeah, you've gone for Darwin. Yeah. I mean, hopefully he does well. I brought him into my team now, so yeah, I'm hoping he shines. But I don't know, Darwin
Yeah.
getting a return in 2 game weeks in a row. Oh, is that going to happen?
Um. Well, I mean, it's a big ask, but if
Yeah.
you check Darwin's game week history,
Uh huh.
he has got
I bet it.
consecutive returns.
Okay, I bet his XG is really high as well. But
Yes, of course, because
it's always been high. It's been high since he joined, and
yeah,
then it just doesn't
yeah,
convert into anything.
it's higher than Haaland's. He hits the goal, he hits the bar, he hits everything, but the goal half the time.
Yeah.
But if you have a look, he's got consecutive returns in 28 and 27. He got consecutive returns in 25 and 24. He got consecutive returns, in fact, 3 games in a row in 19, 20, and 21.
There you go.
So he does get them,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't feel like he gets them because when you watch a Liverpool game, he has about 49 shots, it feels like, in a game. You go, I don't think he can, I don't think Lady Luck likes him
Oh
at
God,
all.
no, no, definitely not.
So, I
But
mean, what
it's
was the
the one
game?
the
I
other
think
week he hit the post like 4 times, didn't he? It's like a record.
I think that was Chelsea, right? Because he's
Yeah.
got an XG of 1.45, so he should have scored 2 goals, and he got no goals. But he did get an
Yeah,
assist in that
he
game, but
did.
he also got
Yeah.
booked,
Yeah.
so he only got a couple of points.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
frustrating one.
he's a frustrating watch, and he's a frustrating own for
Yeah.
certain. I mean, as much as I've only owned him the once this season. That was for Sheffield United, and that was only because I thought he's got to get something at Sheffield United. They're bad, and in the end, it was only by luck and by a good press. If he wasn't pressing the goalkeeper, He wouldn't have got
Yeah.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it just feels like Man United they lost Varane. I think they might have lost him midweek during the game.
Mm.
Plus, he'd been in the papers in France, or I should say the media now. Papers, I'm just sound well old.
Hmm.
But he was in the media talking about concussions, and how
Mm.
he's talking about his boy not to head it anymore because he said he had headed it a couple of times this season and last season. And if you get dizzy spells and problems with his eyes, that explains why he hasn't been getting played in certain games by Ten Hag. It's not
Mm.
because Ten Hag and him have got an issue. It's literally because he's having repercussions from heading the football.
Yeah, not great.
Which kind of paints Ten Hag in a different light now because everyone was reporting that he was some sort of taskmaster that was being like cracking the whip of discipline and not picking him for some personal reason. It's not. It's just literally it could be that Varane's been having some serious problems.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then of course they lost Martinez, sorry, to injury in training. I don't think he's ever going to be fit at this rate because
Mm.
he keeps breaking down.
Yeah.
So that's another dramatic loss. They lost Lindelof in the last two games to I think it was a hamstring pull or it might have been a tear.
Okay.
Um, they lost Evans to injury as well, I believe. He might be back though, but I mean Evans is 36, pushing 37. Is he? You don't really want him starting at Liverpool if he's only just coming back from injury.
And the
Ideally,
pace, the
that is
pace Darwin's got as well. Yeah,
the
it
pace that
could have a
all of
field day.
Liverpool's front four have got. It could be an absolute roasting,
Yeah.
you know. And there's also the fact that Luke Shaw's out, so they are still playing an out of position right back at left back
Hmm.
against Salah. So if Salah gets past him and cuts the ball back, Darwin should be there to pick something up.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So and if I end up wild carding, I won't have Darwin on my wild card. So
Mm.
it felt like I should probably put him in this. It's probably worth a gamble anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
You
picked
will
him
have
in
Haaland though.
FPL4.
Who I've gone for.
I would have Haaland, yes, and
Yeah.
he's away to Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace is the early kickoff, so I might end up having him.
Yeah.
You never know.
I just feel like yeah, he missed that game. He's probably going to play this one. He's maybe got a point to prove. So I can see maybe yeah something spectacular potentially. So
It would be nice.
yeah, or he gets benched again. So who knows? We'll see.
Um,
But I thought, oh
well, if he
yeah, go
does,
on then.
if he does get benched, then it does indicate that that issue is still ongoing.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, then it probably does put him in serious doubt for Luton the following week.
Mm. Yeah.
So, and for the rest of the season, to be honest, because if Man City keep progressing in the Champions League, which against Real Madrid, that's going to be very difficult, but they're still in the FA Cup,
Yeah.
still fighting for the league. You're going to have to start managing Haaland a lot better. And Alvarez is there and still a decent and more than adequate replacement,
He had loads of
especially
chances the other
recently.
night and didn't convert 'em.
He didn't, but he's out of form, and Haaland's apparently, I guess, still
Yeah.
carrying a knock.
Yeah.
Strikers are a bit different. It's kind of like centre backs, right? If you don't get regular game time, you kind of lose that fluidity, and you kind of lose that kind of rhythm to a match. Like the amount of centre backs that come on as a sub and can't get into the game and get absolutely pulled to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like the same with striker who only plays like one out of every 3 games.
Mm.
If you don't play them regular, they're bad. Like Chrissy Wood was coming on as a sub for Nottingham Forest and looking bad. But since he's been starting under Nuno, he's got what is it, 7 in 8 or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking good. So
That's what regular game time can do.
yeah.
So maybe Haaland just got a one-off rest, but if he didn't, I'm sure there's going to be a fire sale.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't play again, I'd definitely consider selling him. Hmm.
Too much money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
It'll be the most expensive bench player most people have ever had.
Yeah, exactly. So,
14.3 million. I mean, there's only been a couple players ever that have been in
but
money than that.
they've always been that thing of, oh, well, he's probably going to play the next game, and it's how long you carry that on for. So,
Well, if you can get it before the deadline in terms of a leak like we are getting this weekend, you can carry it on for a bit. But I think this weekend is the last time they've got an early kickoff where you could
yeah,
seize that opportunity first.
yeah, but yeah. No, I'm sure he'll play. I'm sure he's fine. It wasn't like Saka. He was on the bench, so I feel like
Yeah, and there was no need.
it was probably just a
If it
rest.
Yeah, if it stayed 1-1, I'm sure he would have been introduced. But because Man City run away with it, there's no point to
Yeah,
bring him on, right?
yeah, exactly. So,
Might as well give Alvarez the extra minutes to get him up to speed, kind of like what Arteta did with a lot of the
hmm,
squad players that played the full 90 in the end for Arsenal.
yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
So yeah, cool. Right, well, there we are. There's our picks for 32. See what Gaz sends us at some point. But yeah,
Hope he picks all the same picks as yours,
I hope
and you
so.
both get 4 points.
That'll be fun. uh, but yeah, like, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Average FPLers. And if you want to join our mini league, the code is 5FDX0Q. We'll be back to see how we go on and give our FPL4 choices for game week 33. So yeah, until then, take care. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Ta ta.